John Borthwick, how revolutionary is the social media model? It's clearly changing media. Will it change all industries?
I think it does. I think the internet is changing all industries, right? I mean, you see sort of segment after segment, business after business is being transformed by the internet. I think the social web will change a lot of those too. I mean, when we started out at betaworks, we started out with this idea that it would change what you found and how you found stuff. I think in the last year, we've developed a point of view that it's actually not only changing how you find stuff, it's actually changing the essence of the pages when you find them. And so, and that's a phenomenon which we refer to as, I talk about it as networked media, but we're seeing this experience where a post goes up or an article goes up and you get a flocking of people who come to it from the social web. And sometimes they engage in it in the comment area, and it suddenly becomes sort of this, almost this live event within the web. And it's usually for a period of time, a couple of hours, but it becomes this sort of nexus of conversation and of debate. Often there's many websites that I go to now, and when I go to an article, I'm actually mentally allotting time to do the comments as well. So I'm going to these articles and saying, I don't only have to read this article, but I also know I have to spend probably as much time, if not more, on the comments, because the comment areas and the social engagement around things on the web is actually becoming part of the experience.
So the world...
Yes, I think it's changing.
So the world is becoming one shaped by what you call the flock, or other people call the swarm.
The social web.
Does that worry you at all? I mean, as one of the architects, I know that you have some concerns over the social and cultural implications of this.
Well, I try to avoid some of the biological metaphors. I think that they're interesting, and that there's certainly some analogs, but I think that they also sort of reduce the human and the individual aspect to it. Because at the end of the day, I think that what's happening is that people's voices are actually finding a place online. And so I think that I see this as the web becoming more human. 7 to 10 years of the web and web development has been about algorithmic search, and we've created this amazing platform. But there's so many websites which are just bunk, right? Which are just created to be optimized for search. And people go there and they don't know why they're there, and they just got there by mistake, or they got there because it wasn't their mistake. It was that the site was optimized for a search. That didn't have the content that they really needed. And so I think that the social web is actually surfacing human voice in a new way. Now, as with every transition, it's fraught with challenges. And so, you can go back and look at the history of the development of television or the radio or even the written word in the book. And, there were good arguments as to how people would, forget to, I remember there was stuff I read a long time ago at the outset of when books came out, there were a lot of people who thought that memorization would suffer. And it probably did. But I think that for civilization and for culture, books were a good thing. And I think that the social web, on the balance, I think it's becoming more human. It's, you can, there's certainly flocking behavior, or behavior that you would characterize as crowdsourced online. But I think that what we're seeing more of a reflection of humanity online, which I think is ultimately interesting.
And for the social web to become a more convincing reality, are you saying that we need social search?
I think so. I think that, we were very involved with Surmise, which was the Twitter search engine.
Which you sold to Twitter.
Or the search engine that Twitter acquired. And, when we worked on and developed Surmise with the team, we viewed it as social search. We didn't view it as Twitter search. Now, obviously, when Twitter acquired it, it became just Twitter search. They had no interest in it searching other social platforms like Tumblr or anything else. But at the outset, it was meant to be social search. And I think that search and discovery, right? You want to understand what's happening right now. It's different from normal search, where you really, normal search is far more intent-based. I think that this is it's pre-intent. It's not that you want to go buy an iPhone, it's you want to understand what people are thinking about this new phone, or what they're talking about it. You know, the Verizon iPhone, you want to get a feel for it, the zeitgeist, and that's what social gives you. It's different to intent-based search.
Who's better positioned to develop genuine social search, Google or Facebook?
I think that the social platforms are by leaps and bounds. I mean, I think that Google and the traditional search model is, I think that there's some inherent conflicts between what they do and how they do it and their business, and between the social web. And I think that those conflicts exist at the technology level. I also think that they exist at the organizational level. I think that Google, for whatever reason, is that social does not seem to be in its DNA. And so, if you go back, I mean, some of the most successful projects that they've got there, social projects, Orchid and Blogger. I mean, Blogger is a huge platform for social discourse, and yet it's basically uncapped. It's also a huge platform for spam. We see a ton of spam coming through Blogspot, and it's not, it doesn't seem to be a priority for the Google guys. And I think that that's because social is inherently not something that they think about a lot.